All right, guys, welcome back to Crunch Time, the show where you get the best NBA DFS picks each and every day. Today we have a 10-game slate here, joined as always with Chris. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Just excited for the slate as always. We have a big Wednesday, I think. So a lot of games tonight.
Yeah, it is a Wednesday. Let's go over some success. Let's get your contest links from yesterday so we can go over those as well. Still don't have it. But yeah, let's go over the Discord. So I think this is the first one that I found from yesterday. I think this one was from the previous day. Aiden's here, but yeah, this one's you. MLB action out of you, Chris. 270 into 500 on DK main slate. So you were saying you were going to play some MLB yesterday. You did. FanDuel as well, 275 into 365. So solid stuff over there. Turn and burn, NHL action, doubled. What is this? Tournament action here. Double up. And then some MLB optimals out of him. What is this? This is some double ups here, some single entry tournaments. So some solid stuff out of Turn and Burn. Got Nick here. MLB single entry, double up, more double ups. I think this is a tournament, double up. Solid stuff out of Nick. Quiet night. That's it.
Yeah, there were some blowouts in NBA yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, we also usually get Aiden here posting all his other slates, though, so maybe he didn't play. But let's open up your link here. Let's go over, because it doesn't matter. We can do FanDuel first here. Actually, let me just open up both. Get that over with. But yeah, FanDuel here, Chris. You said a lot of blowouts yesterday. Let me just open up the first one here just to compare players. So did you break even here? A bit more, a bit less than broke even? What happened on FanDuel?
Yeah, so I mean, I had these blowouts, which kind of hurt me. Two of my favorite games, really, the Portland-Indiana game, that was the high over-under. It was like a 30-point game in the second quarter, maybe third quarter. But yeah, that one was over. That hurt Jakar Sampson. He didn't get blowout run for some reason. Brissett did. Brogdon obviously didn't get blowout run. He played well in the first quarter. I think he had like 20 fantasy points, and then he just didn't do anything the rest of the game. So that kind of hurt. And then obviously Steph Curry, my other low-owned guy here in this lineup, that game was pretty much over in the first quarter. That was like a 30-point game in the first quarter. So yeah, blowouts with my lower-owned guys here meant it didn't go great, but yeah, I like the construction a lot. That's really all you can ask for.
So that your Steph Curry or your Karl Anthony Towns for Curry trade, Chris, are you sweating that one out a bit now?
No, I mean, I got Steph Curry because he plays 3 games this week. Gave Cat to the other guy who's playing the guy who's in contention for first place. Cat plays 4 games, so yeah, it's just simple as that.
Oh, that's some big brain moves right there out of you. That makes sense. That's a good play. Do you want to go over anyone else, Chris, here, or no? Just a bunch of blowouts yesterday.
We can see. I bet most people landed on this lineup. There was a 2v2, I think we were talking about it on the show with Covington and Dame instead of Curry and Jakar. But yeah, this lineup was very chalky, as you can see. Big train, a lot of top people on this lineup. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's usually a good way to gauge your process, even when you lose. See what all the sharp minds landed on. So I guess you're right there. Let's open up DK, Chris. Before we do that, in the chat we have Thomas Bay here. He says, I got lucky yesterday, broke even basically, could have been worse. And then he says, LMAO, why is Dame so bad now? That guy sucks, not a top 3 point guard.
Yeah, I think he's playing hurt, but yesterday he actually looked really good. If he played fourth quarter, yesterday he would have smashed. But before that, he was kind of looking hurt. I'm going to play him today. I mean, he's around 8K, so pretty easy play here today.
You know what player always delivers, always performs? Russell Westbrook. He is a beast. I know Thomas hates that guy, but he always delivers his results, so he's a beast. Super consistent.
He's expensive, though, so he's expensive.
Yeah, I just meant as a player.
I mean, he chases stats,
Still,
so he's going to deliver.
I mean, we'll see. I don't know what to say to that. But yeah, DK, Chris, 72nd here. So Yeah, I guess he lost here. Seeing some nice snowflakes here in April. What went wrong here on DK?
Pretty much the same thing. Brogdon, Sumner, my low-owned guy, or not Sumner, I guess, but Brogdon, my low-owned guy, kind of a spend up I had here. Had a great first quarter, then it blew out, so he didn't play much more. Didn't have a great game, obviously, once they were starting to get blown out because they weren't scoring. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I like the construction here a lot as well. Got KD for 8-3. Thought that was way too cheap. I think he took like 7 shots, still got 45 fantasy points. They were just doubling him every time he touched the ball. But I mean, KD's one of the best players ever. He was making all the right reads. Yeah, he had a pretty good game considering the situation. Definitely paid off his price tag there. But yeah, basically Brogdon was the guy that cost me a lot yesterday on both sides.
Okay. Should we go through anyone else from the top, Chris?
Yeah, we can take a look. I think Brissett was more owned here. It was like 25% owned. He had that crazy blowout run. I think he went for 50. Let's take a look here. So this one had Brissett. Yeah, so I mean, if that game didn't blow out, this lineup also didn't have Brogdon. So Brogdon would have played more. Brissett obviously wouldn't have that crazy usage in blowout time, but yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. But like I said, I really like the construction here as well in DraftKings.
Yep. Solo says, working on the road, not driving, so I'm here. What's up? Good to have you here. Austin says, Westy has not hit value 2 to 3 times last week.
Yeah, and I mean, he's been getting OT, and he's barely getting there. So price tag is definitely up. But I mean, the raw points are important, so that's what you get with Westbrook. So that's pretty valuable.
Yeah. Do you want to go over maybe this one, Hoop, as well? Different one here, or no?
Yeah, this one had Kelly O. It didn't have Brogdon, obviously. Who else did it have here? Kevin Porter Jr. So this one was a 2v2. Kelly O and Porter Jr. versus Brogdon and Tim Hardaway Jr. So Tim Hardaway Jr. did very well. Obviously Brogdon didn't in the blowout, so that's why I kind of lost this 2v2. What score did I get?
You got, were you like 70 something, I think.
Yeah, so only 20 points lower. So I mean, if that game didn't blow out, I think I would have definitely got there. This was a big train once again, just like FanDuel. But yeah, sometimes it happens with blowouts. But yeah, like I said, I like the construction a lot.
Why is Kelly O such a beast? I was watching his highlights yesterday because we talked about him on the show. I just wanted to see how he gets his buckets. He looks so... How does he get so many buckets?
I think he's always been good, no?
He's so, like, elusive with his movements. So weird.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you play if you're a white guy.
Yeah, it's so effective, too. Like, he looks really solid. It just looks weird, but yeah, he gets buckets. He produces, kind of crazy. But is he one of those guys who produces only on a bad team, Chris? Like, would you put this as Drummond stats, or like?
No, I mean, this guy's way better than Drummond. This guy can shoot. This guy, he makes the right reads. I mean, he was on Miami. We saw him play well in Miami. He knows his role. Like, if he's in a bigger role like Houston, like the end of his career at Boston, he can thrive. But I mean, he knows what he's worth. Like, Drummond thinks he's a superstar. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true. He's a beast. Why did they give him up Miami? Was it for what's his face, Oladipo?
Yeah, I think Oladipo. I mean, I think he's also expiring, so I don't think it was in their plans to re-sign him.
I feel like Kelly would be a good fit though. He's pretty good there. Solid player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they'll miss him in the playoffs. Not Aiden. Yeah, actually, Thomas here. He says, I actually love Westbrook tonight. You think he's a little priced up, Chris?
I mean, it's kind of weird that he loves Westbrook in this matchup against the Lakers. Lakers are one of the best defensive teams that we have this year. So I don't know. Maybe if it's like a game that he gets up for, but I'm fine with Westbrook here. He's a monster, but I mean, it's not the best spot that we've had him at.
Got it. Rajon Rondo says he's got to be transparent. First L of April, so no list from him. Made profit all the other days of the month, which is insane. Opto is a money bag, Chris. Says, let's get back on track today. Kelly O'Canada, BC legend. Do a lot of people from BC even know about Kelly Olynyk, that he's even from here?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's one of the few that are from here, so yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah. Lamano says, where can I learn the fundamentals, Chris? Fundamentals of the game.
Of what, basketball?
No, of cash lineups, how to build cash lineups.
I mean, you learn through looking at other people's lineups, studying them, seeing what they did, asking yourself why they did it, asking them why they did it if you have access to them, stuff like that.
I mean, that's what we do here in this segment. We do our homework on the previous slate. So you hear Chris's thoughts on that. You hear his thoughts on other people's lineups, his lineup. So kind of go over that here. So that's part of it. That's how Chris got to the point he is. He's been doing this for years, even before the show, obviously. So he does that. And then on top of that, I mean, right here on the show, I think it's a good place to learn those fundamentals. Chris just said if you have access to someone to ask. You guys have Chris right here. So he's teaching everyone here his thought process, all that stuff. So, I mean, I think this is a great place to learn. So, yeah. That's what I think. Royal King's in here. What's up? He says, poor Biombo stays getting posterized. Did he get posterized again, Chris?
I didn't see it. I mean, did he play yesterday? I don't think he played yesterday.
Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe just in general, but yeah. He plays with his heart on his sleeve. Lots of effort, so I like it. Got Ronald Jones in here. Says, what's up, brothers? What's up? Solo says, how much Willie Hernan Gomez did you have last night on FanDuel? Did you?
He didn't play yesterday.
Oh. Yeah, okay. Royal King says, Chris, how long you been doing DFS?
7 years.
Is that when it came out? A bit after?
No, definitely not. That's when I turned the age that I could play.
Got it. When did it come out?
2012, 2011. I don't know.
Got it. Solo says, yeah, FanDuel. He says, yeah, by holiday. Royal King says, wait, what? Drew Holiday? You got to get in the chat, Chris. I'm a little confused.
Who are you confused with?
This Drew Holiday stuff and then the Hernan Gomez stuff.
Let's see.
Oh, he's saying Drew Holiday posterized him last night.
No, Charlotte didn't play last night. Oh, did they play last night? I think they actually did. I didn't see that. We need a link or something. They did play last night, so I was wrong on that. They played each other. It was on NBA TV, I think, but I didn't have any exposure to that game, so I wasn't watching it.
Can you get the highlight?
Solo, I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen it. Solo says how much... He probably means Juancho Hernan Gomez on the Timberwolves, who had a good game. Yeah, I didn't have any. I mean, he wasn't popping at all, so he was... It's not... I don't really play those guys that don't pop in terms of projections, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't see the dunk.
Can you get it? Did you look it up?
No, I didn't look it up, and I mean, I didn't see it. If I could get it, I would have looked it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a quick Google search, Chris. I got it.
Here comes the Hornet.
Can we get this to load? You ready for this, Chris?
Here comes the Hornets. Wanamaker. Give him two. Brad Wanamaker having a night. Oh my goodness. True.
I like the Westbrook one. I mean, Westbrook's obviously more athletic, but yeah, this one's nice too. But it's like
impressive. Runs a little too deep in the paint.
I feel like he just caught Bismack a little bit out of position there. Like it wasn't his best challenge.
Yeah, Biz was a little late.
Yeah. Solo's asking, how much Wanamaker did you have, Chris?
I had no Wanamaker. Did
No
he play well?
Wanamaker.
I mean, yeah, I didn't have exposure to that game at all.
Okay. So yeah, 10 games here, Chris. Let's get into it. Did our homework, did all our stuff, so we can get into this slate here. Any favorite games, favorite news, favorite environment here today for DFS that you sort of have more attention on? Lots of games, obviously, so we got to pick our favorites today.
Yeah, so it's kind of site specific. The team I like on both sites is the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're playing Orlando, which isn't great, but they have a lot of injuries, so that's why I like them. Utah Jazz on both sites as well, with no Conley, no Mitchell. Great matchup against the Kings, so I love the Jazz, specifically Clarkson and Ingles. They're locks for me on both sites. Then we have spend-ups like Russ, Jokic. I think they're viable. Blazers are interesting as well in the monster total, 240 against the Grizzlies. So I like Dame a lot on FanDuel, where he's 8.1K, I think. We have Covington as well, who's cheap. Nurkic on DK was pretty cheap. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff here.
Okay. T-Bay, quickly, Chris, on the dunk before we get into the first game, says that dunk by Drew was better than Russ's dunk. That was a lefty poster. Come on, Chris.
No way. Russ's dunk was much better.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Solo says Bismack was asleep on that one. I think that's part of why Russ's was better.
Yeah.
And then Solo also says he had Wanamaker and Pritchard in the same line, Chris. Did they do well yesterday, those guys?
I saw Pritchard nailing some threes. He's been shooting very well recently, but I didn't see Wanamaker. Let me see what Wanamaker did. Well, I have interest in Wanamaker today, though. I mean, he's 3K on DK. Yeah, he had a pretty good game, 27 minutes. They have a short rotation now, only playing 8 guys. So, yeah, I mean, Hornets are interesting as well today. I like Wanamaker on DraftKings for 3K.
Yeah, Josh here says Pritchard went crazy, 28 real points. Insane.
Yeah.
Sean says he's doing NBA tiers tonight. Does the optimizer do lineups for that like it does for captain mode?
No, it doesn't do tiers, but tiers are just projections, so you can just search whatever tier you're at, see who's the highest projected, go to the next tier, do the same thing, and you have it.
Yep. Let's see. Roking says Anthony Simons was such a sneaky play. Kid went 9 for 10 from 3, had the hot hand.
Yeah, he did a lot of it during the real game, so he was the main guy that was blowing the Pacers out because he just couldn't miss. So yeah, he was definitely a problem yesterday.
Yeah. Let's get into it, Chris. Magic against the Cavaliers up first. Orlando here. We'll go over them first as well. So T. Ross out, Otto Porter out, Carter Williams out. We got James Ennis marked as in, and Mo Wagner marked as probable. Projected starters: Cole Anthony, Gary Harris, James Ennis, Chuma Okeke, and Wendell Carter Jr. Anybody here, Chris, on the Magic? First game of the slate to go over.
Not really. I mean, maybe like Gary Harris, something like that. He's 3.6K on FanDuel. 4-2 on DK, so I mean, I don't love that. But his minutes have been up the last 2 games. He played 32 2 games ago and then 35 last game, so I don't mind him. He's been shooting poorly, so if you look at his game log, that's why it's kind of bad. He shot 2 for 14 2 games ago, 3 for 12 last game, so I expect some positive regression to come with him. I don't mind him on FanDuel for 3.6. I think that's a fair price tag for him. 100 over the minimum, so if you need a last piece there, definitely don't mind Gary Harris. Probably more of a cash game guy, but I think in tournaments he's also viable. He has stocks upside, so I don't mind him on FanDuel. Probably the only guy that I'd really consider here on this slate. Maybe Cole Anthony. And Cole Anthony is like 6.3K on DK. I think that's a good price tag for him. He's 6'4 on FanDuel, so I probably don't mind him either, especially with Terrence Ross out once again. Obviously, MCW is out. So Cole Anthony is kind of their main guy. If the game stays close here, like it's projected to, I expect a lot of production to come from Cole Anthony. So I don't really mind him as a guy in the 6K range today either.
Yeah, guy like Gary Harris. I always like to get guys like minimum price or close to minimum on FanDuel, so I kind of like that one for tournaments. Let's go over Cleveland. So over there we have Hardenstein out, Lamar Stevens out, Colin Sexton out, Delvedova also out. Projected starters Garland, Coro, Chetty Osman, Kevin Love, and Jarrett Allen. Saw some talk in our Discord. I think a few guys said K Love was in the optimal, Chris. So we got some concern over that. I also sent the YouTube video. I don't know if you saw that, but Kevin Love just like hitting the ball inbounds into a direct turnover. Definitely seems like he's a little frustrated with the game. With I don't know with what, but yeah, is he in play today, Chris?
Yeah, he's a decent play. I think more so on FanDuel where he's 5'6". On DraftKings he's 6'7", so that's way too expensive. I have interest in some of these other guys on DraftKings. I'll mention Dean Wade, who's only 3.5K over there. I think he got like 32 minutes last game in the same situation, so this is going to be the second game that Nance, Hartenstein, Stevens, they all missed the game, so that's why Dean Wade was kind of back in the rotation. Don't expect him to start, obviously, but I like him off the bench here on DraftKings for 3.5K. FanDuel also viable for 3.5, or sorry, yeah, so he's 3.5 on both sites. Also viable on FanDuel for 3.5. If he starts for whatever reason, he's probably going to become a lock. But if he's off the bench, fine with him as a last piece. But I do prefer Kevin Love a little more on FanDuel just because he's only 2K more of a high usage guy. Last game was a back-to-back for Kevin Love, so I don't know. I kind of treat those games differently for guys like this who are kind of old. They play less minutes on a back-to-back, so I don't really mind that last game. He still put up, 24 fantasy points. So it wasn't like it was an awful game. He only played 24 minutes. I expect somewhere closer to 30 tonight with all the guys they're missing. So for 5.6 on FanDuel, I definitely don't mind that in cash games. Then we have Chetty Osman once again. He's priced up to 5.5 on FanDuel, 5K on TK. I think the DraftKings price is definitely still in play for sure. He's getting a ton of minutes. His last two starts, he's gotten 37 plus. So I don't mind Chetty. I like him more on DraftKings where he's a little cheaper, but if you land there on FanDuel, it's probably difficult because we have these Jazz guys there as well who are just grading out to be much better plays. But I don't mind Chetty on both sites, but I do prefer him on DraftKings. And then Jarrett Allen, he's the guy that's probably more FanDuel viable with the 3 points for stocks. Obviously, he's a big block guy, so that helps him. He's 6.5K over on FanDuel. On DraftKings, he is 7.2. So a little more expensive there. His scoring system fits him better on FanDuel anyways, so I definitely don't mind playing him there. And then last guy I'll mention is going to be DG, Darius Garland. He's the kind of the main usage guy for them now with Sexton out. So I don't mind him. He's 7.7 on both sites. Can't do it in cash games just because, we have Lillard for 400 more on FanDuel. No way I would go to Garland over there in cash games. But I think in tournaments, he's a viable pivot on both sites. So Garland's more of a tournament guy for me. So if you land in that 7.7 range, I don't mind playing him in tournaments.
Okay, let me load up the next game, but let's look at this Kevin Love play, Chris. I wanted to ask you, what happened here? Do you know?
No, I don't really know, but I saw it as well.
Here in the neighborhood of the Raptors, right? Both the Wizards and the Bulls, and
yep, it's a bad angle.
Turnover.
They showed after.
Malachi and a 5-0 run.
Did they?
Ice cold.
Starting up yet. Right here.
Cold. And here's this play I'm talking about. Just good hustle. So what is Kevin Love doing?
Probably thought there was a timeout or something.
You think so?
I don't know.
What is Kevin Love doing? Sean says Jokic or Westy, Chris?
I'll say Jokic, but it really depends on the site you're playing on. If it's just a 1v1, which it's probably not, I would say Jokic, but if you consider position and stuff like that, I would say Russell Westbrook on FanDuel and then Jokic on DraftKings.
Okay. T-Base says, quick narrative note, Westy is playing the Lakers tonight. He loves to play against LA. I know the game isn't in LA, but I still have a good feeling. Yeah,
obviously an LA guy. I like it more as well when he's in LA. But yeah, I get what he's saying.
Got it. VN Jones says, greetings fam. Sorry I haven't been responding on Discord or been here. Finally working almost 1 year in Florida and finally back among the working world again. 3 straight days of winning DFS, though. That's awesome. Love to hear that. Good to have you in here as well. Sean says 80 is going to go off for 65 fantasy points tonight. Book it, Chris. What do you think of that? Raising your eyebrow.
I mean, if he gets the minutes, they said he's not on restriction anymore, so it's a great matchup against the Wizards. He's going to be very low owned, so I mean, if you want to play him and you think he's going to do that, be my guest. I think he's very sneaky.
Yep. Solo says Koro. I think T-Bay responded to that. He says Koro's just like a hamster on his hamster wheel. All he does is run.
Yeah, exactly. We don't love Okoro here. He had a good usage rate last game. It was 27%, took 16 shots. So maybe 3.5 on FanDuel. I think on DraftKings he's a little bit more, 3.8K. So yeah, problem with him is he's an exercise guy, but yeah, last game did look good for him.
Yep. VN Jones responded to the AD 65 burger prediction out of Deshaun. Jones says he likes AD, but he doesn't see him going off against his Wizards tonight.
I mean, that's the best matchup you can get. So I think if AD is going to go off, I think it's going to be against the Wizards.
Yeah, could be. Hasty in here, Chris. He says, can we get some love from my boy Pritchard? Had a game at OKC.
Yeah, I was talking about it yesterday as well. Like, he had that, I think 3 games ago, he had that 6 or 7 3-pointer game, and then he was hitting all his shots yesterday as well, so he's definitely in rhythm now.
Yeah, I remember watching him play in like the NBA 3-on-3 or something, international or like some FIBA 3-on-3, like Team USA or something. I think he was on it with is this it? Oh yeah, this one. I think I sent it before. Let me open it up. Give our boy Pritchard some love. Hasty's boy Pritchard.
Overtime. Okay, so
yeah, Zach Collins, Chris, PJ Washington, Jalik Felton, and Peyton Pritchard.
That's a squad.
Yeah, it is.
Against Poland? What is this, 3v3?
Yeah, FIBA 3-on-3. This was June 2nd, 2020.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last
Oh, so this is recent.
Yeah.
Between
this just
Poland
looks
and
like
the USA,
looks like street ball. Kind of awesome.
White, USA dark blue.
I don't know who that guy is though.
First try,
Jalik, whatever.
Jalik Felton, but it's
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
As the second.
I think Pritchard goes off in this one. I think he
USA
hits like,
Stankowski,
I think it's first to 27 or something. He hits 9 2-pointers here, so 9 threes. He's just a beast. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a long video, but he goes off. He's a solid player. Like, he can shoot, Chris.
Oh, this is a little unfair. I mean, this is like NBA pros against. I know they're rookies and everything, but I mean, this is NBA pros against these random white boys from Poland. But I don't know if they're random. I mean, they're probably really good players, but still, I think the level, the difference is pretty big.
I think they're pretty good. They're not bad.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely good players. That's why they're in this. But I mean, compared to these Americans who are first-round picks in the NBA, I don't think they stand a chance.
Yeah, they need like an NBA guy or two, like a Pokashevsky. I don't know if Pokashevsky's Polish, but you know, like a guy like that. Where are these threes? Like, are they just at the end? Because I think he just goes off at the end. Like, I haven't found one yet. Ridiculous.
Can you beat?
Is this it?
A new record, I think.
The commentator here is Borat, by the way.
Yeah!
Interesting.
Can you beat this, ladies and gentlemen? Peyton Pritchard, the captain of America.
It's literally Borat. Oh my god.
26 to the USA, thanks to Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah, look at this. He doesn't miss.
Yeah! And at last,
I mean, you can't hear it. So it's,
the last
He can shoot.
of
yeah.
USA.
It's like 9 straight threes from him. But yeah, he's a beast. Pritchard. Shout out to Pritchard. Hasty's boy Pritchard. Hasty says USA never wins these types of things, Chris.
I mean, they won that one.
Yeah.
Or that match at least.
He says Pritchard will have way too much room in a 3v3. Random white boys win this every year. Lols. Hasty says, "Thank you, boys. I haven't seen this before. It's great." Yeah, so we definitely gave Pritchard some love there. So shout out to Hasty's boy Pritchard. His scouting report. He's got the early scouting report sometimes on these rookies. Let's see. We got Brennan here, says, "What's up? Late to the party. Good to have you here." Vian Jones says, "Pritchard and Evan helped me cash last night. Going back to Pritchard, but not Evan." Austin says, "With Barnes out, are we looking at Sacramento tonight, Chris?"
Not really. I mean, a little bit. Like, I like Terrence Davis on DK. I think he's 3.3K, so that's very cheap. And then Halliburton with no Fox. I like him a lot on both sides, but I don't know. I'm not really into guys like Harkless. He's probably the guy who benefits the most from Barnes being out. So I don't know. Mostly like Halliburton for me, and then Terrence Davis as well for value.
Okay. Hasty says, "Coro's a decent defender for a young guy, isn't he?"
Yeah, Coro's a great defender.
Yeah. Hasty says 85 from 3 2 games ago. Pritchard is legit. Yeah, I mean, nine in a row there in that one in a game, so definitely a baller. Sean says, he's talking to Vian Jones, boats and stuff, Chris. Rhonda says, "Who's Jalik Felton?"
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't recognize that name either.
Yeah, you know the Felton name though, right? We had Raymond Felton.
Yeah, but that's not Raymond Felton.
Yeah, for some reason I thought it might be, but it's not. Let's see. T-Bay says, "You know what I just realized? Peyton Pritchard looks like Sid from Toy Story."
Look up Sid Toy Story. Yeah, I see it a little bit.
What? Why?
Just a little bit. Same kind of eyebrows. I mean, you're not gonna find anything if you type them together.
Do you see it?
I see it.
Yeah, I see it too. Yeah, it's a good one, Thomas. Sean says, "Randall or Beal 1v1, Chris. Like a 1v1 game. Who's going to win?"
Not in DFS today?
Yeah.
Well, if it's probably DFS, so I'll say Randall 1v1. I don't know. I mean, different games. Whoever starts with the ball, I'll say will win.
Okay. Yeah, let's get into the next one, Chris. So Atlanta Hawks, Philadelphia 76ers. Atlanta side first. We have Hunter out, Trae Young out, Tony Snell out, Kevin Huerter doubtful, Bogdanovich questionable, and Goodwin also questionable. Lou Will back in. Projected starters: Goodwin, Bogdanovich, Solomon Hill, John Collins, and Clint Capella. Anything here, Chris, on Atlanta for you today?
Not really. Like, it depends on the Bogey news. If he's out, then I'll have some interest in some of these guys. But I think as of now, I'm not too interested in this game against Philly. I mean, Trae Young is still out. Herter's doubtful today. So I think if Bogey ends up being ruled out, we could probably play someone like Lou Will, Goodwin if he starts, Dunn if he starts. But it really depends on the injury news. I don't want to play Capella here. I think he could easily get into foul trouble guarding Embiid, so I don't want to go there. I think he's also better playing with Trae Young. I mean, he can't create for himself, so I don't know. I think I'm just going to stay away here until we hear the news. We're going to hear it before lock because this is the first game of the slate, so I'm just gonna wait and see here.
Okay. Other half here, 76ers. We have Mike Scott questionable. Danny Green back in. Projected starters: Simmons, Curry, Green, Harris, and Embiid. So all their guys look to be back in. So that should make things a bit easier. I always hate it when we have 76er news to wait on. So we don't have that today. Anyone on the Sixers, Chris, in play today?
No, nothing here for me. I don't know. Like you said, they're all back. We have a giant slate. Pretty low over under here. I think third lowest, maybe fourth lowest. So there's nothing here that really interests me.
Okay. Let's go to the next game. Hornets, Celtics. So we actually have a few guys here, Chris, from that 3-on-3 in Washington and Pritchard in this game here. So maybe there's like a FIBA 3-on-3 narrative we can go off of here. But let's go over Charlotte first. So we have Malik Monk out, Nate Darling out, LaMelo Ball out. Expected to be back soon. Projected starters: Devontae Graham, Terry Rozier, Cody Martin, Miles Bridges, and PJ Washington. Anything on the Charlotte side, Chris, for you?
Yeah, so Charlotte, we kind of mentioned it. I forgot that they played yesterday, but I looked it up. They only played 8 guys, so clearly they have a tight rotation right now with the injuries that they're going through. So that does make me interested. Their main guys are playing a lot of minutes. Terry Rozier, I like him on both sites. He's 7-7 on FanDuel. DraftKings, he is also 7-7. Just playing a lot of minutes. That's why I like him. He's their main guy right now. Didn't shoot well yesterday, but I think in this matchup today against Boston, he could have a good game. We saw it over the weekend. Rozier went for 50 against Boston, so I do like him here for this price tag on both sites. Not a lock or anything like that, but just a solid last piece in my opinion. And then we have guys like Devontae Graham, who I think is more viable on DraftKings. He's 6.1K over there. On FanDuel, he is 5'7", but he's a shooting guard. We have Clarkson, who's just an absolute lock at shooting guard. We have guys like Halliburton as well at shooting guard, so it's harder to fit him there. But on DraftKings, a little easier to get to him. Same sort of thing as Rozier. Good last piece guy there. He's been playing well recently as well. Put up 42 2 games ago against Boston, and then 40 last game or yesterday against Milwaukee. Playing 33+ minutes a night, so I don't mind Devontae Graham either for this price tag. And then we have the value guy here, who is Brad Wanamaker. He played 27 minutes yesterday, 24 minutes the game before. So like I said, they have a tighter rotation now. He's coming off the bench. He's not an exercise guy off the bench, so that's the good thing with him. He's pretty active when he plays. Shoots the ball a lot, just does a little bit of everything. So I think Wanamaker for 3K on DK is pretty good value. I like him in tournaments as a value play just because I think he does have some upside. And like I said, he played 27 minutes last night, so I do like that a lot. So it's going to be these guys in the backcourt for the Hornets for me. Don't really want to play any of the front court guys. So yeah, mainly just these 3.
You also have the Revenge narrative for Wanamaker too.
Yeah, and Scary Terry.
Yeah, and Scary Terry. Bjorn Jones says he likes Cody Martin for value in this game, Chris.
4K on DK. Yeah, I mean, he's been playing 30+ minutes. So, yeah, I mean, I don't love the price tag. 4K, it's a little bit up. I think he's been a little bit cheaper. Or actually, he's been around 4K recently. So, yeah, I don't mind it. I'd rather just, take the 1K savings, go to Wanamaker. We have also Terrence Davis, who's 3-3, who we're going to talk about later on the Kings. We have Dean Wade as well, who I already talked about. So I don't know if I love this price tag, but I mean, he's shown the upside that he has. He's active. He gets rebounds. He's definitely live for the double-double bonus. He gets steals, gets blocks. So I do like him as a value guy in tournaments.
Okay. Boston side, Kemba Walker out, Tatum back in, Robert Williams in. Projected starters: Smart, Fournier, Brown, Tatum, and Williams. Anything on this side, Chris?
Not too much here. Just because Tatum's back now. He obviously missed the game yesterday. So I don't mind Tatum. It's a back-to-back for these guys, so maybe I would try to stay away from guys like Brown and Smart. But I think Tatum is definitely viable here just because he didn't play yesterday. He's not going to be on any restrictions. So I don't mind him in tournaments. He's 9-2 on FanDuel. DraftKings, he's 9-6. We know the upside he has, so I don't mind him. Then I got to mention Peyton Pritchard just because he's had the 2 big games recently. He's around 4K on both sites. Played 33 minutes yesterday, so I mean, if he's playing 33 minutes, he's definitely viable. He hasn't been starting, though. He didn't start yesterday either. They started, I think, someone random. I don't remember exactly who, but I think they started Smart, Fournier, Ogilvy, Brown, and TT, so they were running Smart at the point guard, but Pritchard still got 33 minutes, so I don't mind him as a value guy in tournaments as well. Can't do it in cash games for this price tag, but I think he obviously has upside if his shot is falling.
Yeah. Hasty says that Cody Martin's defense is going to keep him on the floor tonight, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he's out there for, same as his brother.
Yeah, and then what else we got? VN says he might move down to Wanamaker. Good call. Solo says Cody looks good. Any interest in R. Frank from Orlando, Chris?
Not really. I mean, he's pretty good point per minute. Didn't they waive him or something?
Not sure.
Let me see. Robert Franks. Yeah, I'm not sure if they waived him, but I'm not really considering him here today. I think he had I don't know. Yeah, I don't want him.
Yeah, then Solo says they call Duncan Robinson Jimmy Neutron. I've seen that one, but it's good we have another one here out of T-Bay. I don't know if he made that one up, but we got the Toy Story one too, so that's pretty funny. Next game up, Chris, we got Chicago, New York Knicks facing each other. Chicago side, we got Zach LaVine marked as out, expected to be back end of this month. We also have Troy Brown Jr. also out, projected starters, Kobe White, Temple, Pat Williams, Daniel Tice, and Vucevic. Anything here, Chris, on Chicago, or is it pace down spot for them?
Yeah, not much here. I mean, Vucevic is 10-4 on DK, so there's no way I can play that. Maybe on FanDuel for 8.7K. But the thing is, on FanDuel, he's a center. You can only play one. It's not like he's popping or anything like that against the Knicks. So I don't mind him on FanDuel in tournaments, but that's about it from this team.
Okay. So other half, Knicks side, we just have Alec Burks marked as in. Projected starters, Payton, Barrett, Bullock, Randall, and Nerlens Noel. Any interest there, Chris? Kind of the opposite here, facing the Bulls. Usually like to target teams facing the Bulls. Is that the case here with the Knicks?
Yeah, not really as much ever since they got Vucevic. They've been playing slower, obviously, because they obviously plays through the post more. So it's not a great matchup anymore. Burks is back, like you said. He's a high usage guy off the bench, so that kind of hurts everyone on this team. Randall, he's 10K plus on DK, on FanDuel 9.9, so I don't know. He's usually the guy I'm interested in, but just don't really need him here today.
Okay, let's move to the next game. We have Lake Show against the Wizards. So let's go over LA first. We have Jared Dudley listing him. He's out. LeBron James being listed here as well. Expected to come back early next month. He's still out though. We also have Schroeder probable, AD probable, Gasol probable, KCP probable, and then one questionable tag in Alex Caruso. Projected starters, Dennis Schroeder, Caldwell Pope, Kuzma, Davis, and Drummond. So we had some talk about Davis already, Chris. You said minutes restriction is lifted, if I'm correct. Had the prediction from Deshaun, I believe, 65 fantasy points out of him today. VN Jones shut that one down. He said not against his Wizards, not tonight. What do we make of this AD situation today, Chris?
I mean, he's just a tournament-only guy for me. It's a really good matchup for these guys, for the Lakers going up against the Wizards. They're implied to score 115. Usually the Lakers have lower totals ever since LeBron has gone out. Obviously, they're playing slower. But yeah, we're getting 80 for under 10K, which is, I mean, pretty crazy if you consider how good he's been these last few years. He's 9-2 on DraftKings. So, I mean, I think he's a decent tournament option. Like I said here, they said he's off the restriction. But I mean, how much can you really trust them? There's really no point for him to play a lot of minutes here. He played 31, not yesterday, I think 2 days ago. So, I mean, he's probably going to play 30 plus once again here against the Wizards. So I do think he has some upside. Probably the only guy I'm super interested in, maybe Dennis Schroeder as well on DK. He's 6.9K over there. I don't mind him. He's 7K on FanDuel. I think that's fine as well. Drummond, always viable in tournaments with the upside he has. I mean, I don't know. Usually it's a spot that we would want to target the Wizards, but I mean, on this giant slate, don't really love the Lakers too much in cash games. But I think in tournaments, like I said, I think they're viable. The main guys are.
Okay. Wizards side, just Robin Lopez marked as probable projected starters. Westy, Raul Neto, Brad Beal, Hachimura, and Alex Len. Anything on this side, Chris?
I mean, with this team, it's always two guys just because they play so fast. It's always Westbrook or Beal. Beal's kind of priced up now. He's 10K on DK, 9.5 on FanDuel. So that's a little bit too much for me. Westbrook is 11.1 on DK, 11.1 on FanDuel as well. So he's the guy that interests me if I do want to play a Washington Wizard here. He does everything for them. If you can fit him and Jokic together on DK or even FanDuel, I think that gives you a super solid floor. So I love Westbrook here in cash games. Both sites, I think he's a solid play. Thomas mentioned the narrative against the Lakers. Obviously, he's from LA. This game is in Washington, but still, I think it's a game that he gets up for a little more. So I don't mind him on either site. If I had to pick one site, I always say DraftKings just because the scoring system fits him better over there. So yeah, he's the only guy here for me.
Okay. Hasty says, Rui at 4-2, Chris. Is he going to get a run?
I mean, he's coming off the injury. That's the problem for me. He played 31 minutes last game. That one went into OT. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't love it. We know that most of the production from this team comes from their top two guys in Westbrook and Beal. So, I mean, it's a super cheap price tag. So I see why there's some interest in that, but probably not for me here on this slate. We have the Jazz guys at small forward today who are just crazy plays, crazy good.
Okay. Moving on. Next game, we have San Antonio against Miami. Spurs side first, Trey Lyles out, Derek White out. Projected starters, DeJounte Murray, Lonnie Walker, DeMar DeRozan, Keldon Johnson, and Jakob. Anything there, Chris?
Not really. I don't love the matchup against the Heat. Usually I don't like to target the Spurs too much. We've had some interest in them recently. They played the Wizards last game, the Pelicans the game before that, so that's why we had some interest. But against the Heat, I'm not too interested. I think DeRozan's always viable in tournaments, but don't need him in cash games here today on this, 10, 11 game slate. So, yeah, nothing really for me here in cash. I think DeRozan's viable in tournaments, though.
Okay, 10 game slate. Solo says Williams tonight, Chris.
I mean, I always get these questions with like Williams, Smith, like all these common last names, Green, where there's like 5 NBA players with that name. So you got to be more specific.
Which Williams are playing today, Chris? Let's look
if we look it up, we can probably tell. But I mean, off the top of my head, I don't really know. I mean,
yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, on this slate, it's hard to say. There's Robert Williams, Lou Williams, Pat Williams, Grant Williams.
Yeah, hard to answer that one. So you got to know which one. Let's go back to this game. So let's go over Miami while we wait for that from Solo. So we have Tyler Hero and Kendrick Nunn marked as questionable, Vincent probable, and then Iggy and Jimmy Neutron. Duncan Robinson is in. Projected starters, Kendrick Nunn, Butler, Robinson, Ariza, and Adebayo. Anything, Chris, on the Heat?
No, nothing here for me. I mean, Butler's always viable in tournaments, similar to DeMar. If you want to maybe run a mini game stack here with those two guys, I don't hate it. But in cash games, definitely nothing here. So, yeah, it's a no-go for me.
Okay, no-go for you, no-go for us as well. Portland, Memphis is the next game. Nothing noted for either team, Chris. Is that for real?
For Portland and Memphis?
Yeah.
Well, Portland has Zach Collins, who's been out. I think, Memphis is healthy.
Yep. So, yeah, that's amazing. No one out in this game at all other than Zach Collins, like you said, but I don't think he's played this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, let's go over Portland first. We got Lillard, McCollum, Norm Powell, Roko, and Nurk projected to start. Anything on this side, Chris, that you like in this game?
Yeah, so these guys are more interesting to me on FanDuel. So we have Dame, who's 8.1K on FanDuel. On DraftKings, he's 9.3. Like we kind of talked about, he hasn't been playing great recently, but he's looked like he's been playing hurt. But yesterday against the Pacers, he actually looked a lot better. So I'm kind of going to buy into that, especially on FanDuel, like I said, where he's 8.1K. Just way too cheap here, I think, in this matchup. They're implied to score 120 points. We know a lot of production comes from Dame. So, I mean, I think he has a ton of upside here. He only needs 40 fantasy points to go 5x. So, I mean, I think he has all the upside in the world here in this matchup against the Grizzlies. Pretty much a must-win for them. Like, they've lost a few games in a row. I think they beat the Pacers yesterday. But before that, I think they were on a 5-game skid. They lost to Memphis twice, which is pretty important. They're both in a similar playoff position. So, I think this is a game where you can see Dame play upwards of, 38, 39 minutes. So I like him a lot on FanDuel for 8-1. I think he's a lock over there. We also have Roko. We were talking about him yesterday as well. Didn't land on him once we got the Goga news that Goga was out. But Roko, he's still very cheap here on FanDuel. He's 5K. Yesterday he was 4.9. I was saying it's a good buy low spot. I think today is just the same thing here. He's playing a ton of minutes, upwards of 36. He can go up to 40 as well. If you look at yesterday's game, that one blew out, obviously, so he only played 30. Didn't get any fourth quarter run. So I love him here on FanDuel just because he has that minutes floor. And then the other guy last guy I'll mention here is going to be Nurkic, specifically on DK, where he's 6.8K. FanDuel, they have him at 8.3, so that's too expensive for me. But he's had these 2 monster games against the Grizzlies. So 3 games ago, he put up 60 against the Grizzlies. 2 games ago, he put up 53. Like I said, last game, yesterday, he played 19 minutes, put up 34 fantasy points in a blowout. So I like him a lot. He looks like he's back. He's demanding the ball a lot, getting stocks, getting assists, getting a lot of rebounds. So definitely don't mind Nurkic on DraftKings. I think he's going to be one of my favorite tournament plays over there.
Okay. Other half Grizzlies side, we got John Morant, Grayson Allen, Dylan Brooks, Kyle Anderson, and Jonas projected to start. Any interest on these guys, Chris?
Yeah, I think these guys are more interesting for me in tournaments just because, like we kind of said at the start, they're all healthy. We've seen John Morant kind of crush these Portland Trailblazers in their last 2 games. He's been playing a lot better as well, so I don't mind playing him. He's 8.2 on DK, which is pretty expensive, I think. He's 8.1 on FanDuel, so that's pretty expensive as well. But he has all the upside in the world, so I like him in tournaments. Can't do it in cash games for this price tag. Joe Val, same thing. He's 7.1 on FanDuel, 7.9 on DK, so I like the FanDuel price more, but you can obviously only play one center over there, so it's hard to get to him. Jaren Jackson, he's on the restriction, so can't really play him. So yeah, it's kind of hard to play these guys when they're all healthy, but they do have a giant implied team total, so Ja is definitely viable here.
Okay. Hasty says, Nurk, highly underrated, solid guy. Did you see that video of Simmons and Nurk at the foul line like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
What happened there?
Yeah, that was like a big thing, like you said, 2 years ago. But yeah, I think Simmons missed a free throw. I don't remember exactly what he said.
I think we can pull it up. Except you can't hear it, so...
Off.
Let's turn it down a bit.
Simmons able to get the foul on Harkless, who picked up 2 early personal fouls, and now he's got 3.
Nurk says hell no.
I just feel better when he's in the building.
Says he talked a lot of shit for being ass. Be quiet or something.
At a second evaluate structural damage dealt out here. Ben Simmons, one of them. And Yusuf Nurkic, the other. And you.
Yeah, that's a good one. Hansen showed me that one. Shout out to Hansen for that one. But yeah, that's a good one. Solo says Cousins gonna go ham tonight, Chris.
Boogie?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm a big Boogie guy, but I don't know. I don't think I need it here on this slate. I think he's also priced up now.
Okay. ATL value, Chris. Who are the plays today? I guess we were waiting on the Bogdan news, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
They have a lot of questionable guys, so we're waiting on that news.
Yep. And then Hasty says Ben Simmons is such a baby. Nurkic would clean his clock.
Yeah, Nurkic he's a tough dude.
Yeah, he is. I like Nurkic. Yeah, and Nurkic isn't even trash. I'm not sure where that's coming from. Ben Simmons just a little bit way too overrated. So yeah, Nurkic he's solid. Like, I don't know. But yeah, that's a good one. I like that video. The next game, Chris, Pelicans, Nuggets. Let's go over New Orleans first. We got Nickeil Alexander-Walker still out, should be back soon. We got DD Luzada, 10-day, I don't know, actually, some sort of contract there. Do you know DD Luzada, Chris?
No.
I'll pull him up. James Johnson, neck tap, probable. Steven Adams, questionable. Projected starters. Lonzo Ball, Eric Bledsoe, B.I., Zion, and Adams. Anything, Chris, on the Pelicans for you today?
Yeah, so I have some interest here. The thing I want to say is a lot of the good games tonight come from these later games. So as I always say, if you're cashing early, you're most likely not going to be able to hold just because all the early games have the low over-unders, the late games have the high over-unders. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. But on this Pelicans team, it's always two guys similar to the Wizards. We know where their production is going to come from unless there's injuries. So Steven Adams is questionable. If he's out, Hernan Gomez is likely going to start. So I think he's going to be in play. I think I played him last slate that Adams missed. He played 30 minutes, 33 fantasy points. So he's going to be a great play if Adams does miss the game. But we likely won't know, obviously, until later in the night. Or maybe we'll know in 3 minutes when the report comes out. Who knows? But yeah, the two guys that I'm always interested in here are Zion and Ingram. On DraftKings, Zion is 10-2, Ingram is 8-8, so they're both kind of more pricey there than on FanDuel, so I'm not too interested on that site. But I think on FanDuel, Zion is only 9.4K, Ingram is 8K, so that's where I am going to play them if I do want them. Like I was kind of saying earlier, small forward is loaded with these Jazz guys. We have Michael Porter Jr. as well at small forward. So it's hard to get to 8K for Ingram on this slate, but I think Zion for 9.4 is definitely in play. He just has, he has all the upside in the world. He has one of the safest floors in the league this year. Just does everything for this team. So I like Zion for 9.4 on FanDuel. Just a really safe option in cash games.
Okay. Let's see. Solo Chris, we finally got the Williams out of him. It's Robert Williams.
I don't really want to play Robert Williams coming off the injury. TT's obviously there. They split minutes. It's not the same Robert Williams we were getting when TT was out. So, yeah, I don't love it.
Yeah, and then Jones is asking if you agree with this one, Chris. He said he had a phone call, missed all the important info, but he says he's all over Nurk tonight. His favorite play, the slate. Do you agree with that one?
Yeah. I'm not all over him, but he's a great play over on DraftKings. So I know Jones is also a tournament guy, so yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Denver's side, we got Monte Morris out, Barton out, projected starters, Campazzo, Dozier, Gordon, Porter Jr., and Jokic. Why is Aaron Gordon such a bum, Chris?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Why is he such a bum? I thought he was supposed to be good.
Is he not good?
I thought he was supposed to be like a lot better. Like a franchise player or something like that before.
What was he picked? Wasn't he I don't think he was first pick.
Really?
I think he was fifth, maybe. Let me see.
That's pretty high.
It's not like you get studs for every fifth round pick. Let's see what he was even.
Pick 4
overall.
Yeah, why is
so,
he such a...
he's a very solid player. I think he's worthy of a fourth pick. Very good defender, athletic. Not completely an idiot. So that's a plus. But yeah, he's 5'2" here on FanDuel. DraftKings, he's 5'2" as well. So I don't really like him too much here. He's not getting many minutes. He's only getting around 22 per game, which is kind of strange. But got to deal with that. So we can't really play him. There's two guys that really stand out here for me on this team. We have a great matchup here. That's the first thing I want to say. So we are going to have interest in these guys. First one, Nikola Jokic up top, 11K on DraftKings, 11-1 on FanDuel. Like I always say with center, it's a little harder to spend up or get to these guys when we can only play one of them. We have Jarrett Allen on the slate again, so it's hard to pay for Jokic over on FanDuel. I'd rather pay. Sorry, I keep getting those two words messed up. I'd rather pay for Westbrook on this slate if I am spending up on FanDuel. But yeah, Jokic is in play for sure on DK, where you can play more than one center. He's 11K over there. Obviously, you get a triple-double bonus as well on DK. So I love him over there. I think he's a lock for me as of now in cash games, tournaments as well. I love his upside. But on FanDuel, the guy that's interesting to me is going to be Michael Porter Jr. He's 7.7K there. On DraftKings, he's 8.6. So it's still, I think, $1,000 too cheap for Michael Porter Jr. on FanDuel. He's been playing out of his mind. Just looks very good, very aggressive, playing a lot of minutes, shooting the ball well, doing everything for them. So he's in play for me for sure on FanDuel. I like him a lot over there, but it's also going to be these two guys if I am playing the Nuggets, which I am.
Okay. Duncan Robinson, Chris, he's got a tummy ache, so he's questionable today.
Okay, we also got news that Smart has been suspended.
What did he do?
Threatening language towards a ref.
Oh. Hasty says, Compazzo Knight, love that guy.
Yeah, I don't mind Compazzo as the last piece.
And then he also says Simmons is basically a bust, not a winner. Vian Jones says, LOL, good call. Likes that one. And then Hasty says, Embiid is the guy in DC.
Embiid is the guy in DC?
That's what he says.
Who said that?
Hasty.
In Philly.
Yeah.
Did you say DC by accident?
He said DC.
Yeah, it must have been a little typo. Those cities are pretty close. So we'll let it slide.
Let's go to the next one, Chris. Second last game here. So you kind of said it. All the good plays here come in the later games. Wondering if this is one of them because it's the Kings matchup against the Kings. Usually like to target that. Actually, I know this is probably a good one. But yeah, we have Utah Jazz against Sacramento. Utah's missing a few key guys. So Mike Conley out, Donovan Mitchell out, Azu Buick is out. Projected starters, Jingle Joe, Jordan Clarkson, Bojan Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal, and Rudy Gobert. So I know we have interest in Jackson Clarkson, Chris. Anybody else here on the Jazz that we like as much as Clarkson, or is Clarkson the clear favorite here today?
Yeah, so there's guys that we like as much as him, but Clarkson is the clear favorite. He's 6.3K on FanDuel, 6.9 on DraftKings, so just way too cheap for this role without Mitchell, without Conley, against the Sacramento Kings. They're implied to score 116. So I love Clarkson here. Don't really need to talk about him too much. He's just a free square tonight on both sites, in my opinion. And then the next favorite guy is going to be Joe Ingles. We've seen the situation as well where Ingles has huge games when Conley misses games, when Mitchell misses games. So I love Ingles here. He's 6.7 on DK. FanDuel 6.1K. So probably more in play on FanDuel, honestly. But, I mean, I love him on both sites. I think he can easily pay off the price tag on both sites. So he's my second favorite Jazz guy. Then we go into these other guys like Bogey. Bogey's only 5.2 on FanDuel. DraftKings, he's 6.4K. So I wouldn't play him on DK, but I think on FanDuel, he's definitely viable in this matchup against the Kings with the situation that we have today. So I like him a lot. So it's going to be mostly those three guys. They're the main guys that benefit from Conley and Mitchell being out. But then we still have Rudy Gobert, who's just a monster in the paint, going up against the Kings, who are one of our favorite matchups. I think Gobert has a giant game here tonight as well. A little hard to pay for him in cash games, but I think in tournaments, he's going to be one of my favorite plays. 8.3 on both sites, 8.3 on DK, 7.9 on FanDuel. So I like the price tag for him a lot. If the game stays close, I think he could get like a 5-block game here. So I like him a lot in tournaments. He's going to be my tournament guy here for me. And then Clarkson, Ingles, and Bogey are going to be the cash guys.
Okay. You think we get like a 20 rebound game out of Rudy as well, Chris?
Yeah, I could see it. Yeah, definitely I could see it.
Let's see. Adam G here says, any Derrick Rose revenge love, Chris? Do you like that narrative here?
Not really. Burks is back, so that hurts Rose a little bit. Rose has been playing 33 minutes in each of his last two games. But with Burks back, I think he's going to go back to like 26, 27 minutes.
Got it. So if that wasn't the case, you'd probably like that narrative a bit more?
Yeah, he's been playing very well, but just with Burks back, I don't need it.
Okay. Yeah, Hasty says, oops, typo. Sorry, Chris. He also says, when Ingles plays point guard, it's a wrap.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen today.
Yeah. T-Bay says, Ingles is such a savant, playmaking wizard. He for sure drives a manual car.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Do you think he drives electric, Chris? Diesel? Gas?
Well, manual can't be electric, so definitely not.
That's true.
Not electric.
That's true. Good point. Can't believe I said that. Kings side, Chris, we have De'Aaron Fox out, Harrison Barnes out, Woodard out, Damian Jones signed for the season for Sacramento over there. Marvin Bagley doubtful. Projected starters: Tyrese Haliburton, Buddy Hield, Harkless, Metu, and Rashawn Holmes. So we did have some talk here already, Chris, about Harrison Barnes being out. And I guess people were just wondering, with him being out, do you have a lot of interest here on the Kings? I know you also usually don't like to target players or teams facing the Jazz, solid defensive team over there. Is that the case today, Chris?
I mean, I don't mind targeting the Jazz. They play fast. It's not like the Jazz of the last few years. I think even last year they were playing fast. So I definitely don't mind targeting them. Problem is here, they're implied to score at 107. The Kings are, so that's pretty low. But the thing is, we have injuries, which we can take advantage of. So we have Fox and Barnes, who are both out. Fox has been out the last few games, and Haliburton has been crushing. So I love him today. 7K on FanDuel, DraftKings 7.1K. I think it's a really good price tag for him. So he's going to be my favorite guy here on both sites. But then we still have some value guys here that we can kind of play with Barnes out as well. I think Terrence Davis, I was talking about him earlier. He's 3.3K over on DK. I think he's going to get a lot more minutes with someone like Barnes being out. They'll probably slide, I don't know, Buddy Hield up to the 3, Harkless to the 4, obviously Holmes at the 5. So I think they might even start Terrence Davis here. Maybe they'll start DeLon Wright. Probably going to be one of those two guys. But yeah, Terrence Davis here, 3-3. I like that price tag a lot with the guys they're missing. So for the most part, it's going to be Haliburton taking advantage of the Fox injury, and then Terrence Davis because of his low price tag on DK.
Yeah. Also see we got Sabonis out tomorrow, Chris. Is he just like done? What's going on there?
No, I don't think he's done. I mean, I think he's just rehabbing his back injury.
Okay. Hope so. Adam says, thanks for going over that D-Rose thing, Chris. Also says, second best lefty in the league equals Ingles. Who's number 1? Harden?
Harden. I don't really know off the top of my head what hand everyone uses. Who else is a lefty in the league?
Yeah, you should know these things, Chris. If you want to be an elite defender, you should know this off the top of your head. I have no idea. Maybe we left-handed NBA players. Harden, Ginobili. I mean, this is all time, but maybe
Put active.
we got the 2019 NBA all lefty team. That seems like a good list.
D'Lo.
Oh yeah, D'Lo, but Zion, Simmons, Fox,
Zion.
Sabonis,
Oh, Fox.
Conley, SGA, John Wall, Randall, Oubre, Ingles, Barrett, Bagley, Dragic, IT, DJ, Bridges, Hoodie, Bazemore. There's a lot. Winslow. Who would you put number? Obviously, I think Harden number 1. Number 2, I put Zion or Sabonis there.
I think it's Zion and then Fox and then Sabonis and then Simmons.
Yeah, I'd put Simmons below a lot of these guys.
Randall as well. I would put Randall above
Simmons?
Sabonis. I would say Harden. Scroll up. I would say Harden, Zion, Randall, Fox, Sabonis, top 5.
Okay, let's vote for this, and then let's put Simmons down. There we go. Oh, Ingles. Let's also vote him up as well. There we go. So we got that out of the way. Let's see. Hasty's asking. Hasty says Ingles is my favorite player ever, so no big bias. I mean, if he's your favorite, you should get an Ingles jersey, Hasty. Says who's the best lefty at Adam? So many options. Is it Harden's for you, Chris?
Yeah, Harden for sure. I think 1 is clear.
Yeah. T-Bay says if I had a dime for every Russ assist, then I would have so much money for parking. Too bad my car will still get towed because the driver would tell me those dimes are fake and not valid from the Russ dimes.
I like that one.
Yeah, Adam's favorite is Harden, favorite lefty. Now, Hasty thinks something happened to Thomas's cart at basketball. Yeah, T-Bay always gets the free parking. He knows where to park. He knows the city, ins and outs of the city. Yeah, I think, did we do both sides here, Chris? Yeah, we did. So last game of the slate, we have the Clip Show against Phoenix. So I'm not sure about this game because I think you don't like targeting against Phoenix usually, but we'll get into it. Clip Show first. We got Serge Ibaka out, Pat Bev out. Kawhi is doubtful, so usually treat that as out as well. Coffee questionable, and then we have Paul George marked as in, as well as Luke Kennard projected starters, Reginald Jackson, Terrence Mann, Paul George, Marcus Morris, and Zubats. Yeah, I know you typically, I think you don't like targeting guys against Phoenix, but is that the case today, Chris?
Yeah, that's the case today. Nothing here in this entire game in cash games today. We talked about the last 3 games. We talked about Portland, Memphis, New Orleans, Denver, and Utah, Sacramento. I think those 3 are my favorite games of the night. But this one's kind of the late game that's not going to get any ownership. I think Paul George is very interesting in tournaments. He let everyone down last slate, so I think people are going to be off of him completely. But I think in tournaments you can use that as leverage. Like, he's been playing great, other than his last game. They just got blown out early, so you can't really fault him for that. It's not like he played the entire game and sucked. Only played 24 minutes. So, I mean, they got blown out. He's been going for 60, like 4 out of his last 6 games. So he has a ton of upside. I like him a lot for this price tag. And you're going to get lower ownership on him. So he's going to be one of my favorite tournament plays on this slate. I don't mind the matchup for guys like Paul George who are pretty matchup proof. So, yeah, it's just going to be him for me.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, with Paul George, you have to keep in mind the playoffs are coming soon, so he might be getting to playoff form. So last game, he's definitely showing us that he is ready for the playoffs. That is the playoff P that we're all used to. So you got to keep that in mind. Playoffs are soon. Hasty says about the Ingles jersey. He says, tried to get the city colors, Utah Ingles jersey. They want over 100 to ship to Canada. It's so hard to get a real one for a decent price. Can't pay $100 for shipping from Utah.
Does he think they shipped them from Utah?
NBA store?
Yeah, I can probably find one for him.
Yeah. Yeah, NBA merch. Where's my Fred VanVleet stuff? Like, it's been 3 months now, 4 months. It's been a while. I think February. Still no update from Fred VanVleet. Doesn't respond to my emails. Little concerning there, Chris, in Toronto. I guess they're not in Toronto, but I don't know. VN Jones says, any Buddy Buckets love, Chris?
Buddy Buckets love. I mean, he's around 7K on both sites. That's why I don't love it. But I think if the game stays close, he can definitely have a good game here.
Okay. And Gerson here says, how do you guys like Bacon and Garland for tournaments on DK?
Bacon and Garland?
Yeah.
Not too high on Bacon, but I like Garland in tournaments.
Okay. Let's go over the last team here of the slate, Phoenix. You already said it, though. Not much in this game, or nothing at all in this game for cash. But Jay Crowder, questionable. Sarge, questionable. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Bridges, Crowder, and Ayton, all projected to start. Anything in tournaments, Chris?
Yeah, not too much here. Just not a great game for me to target, so I don't love it.
Okay. Yeah, my boy Layden here, he's got my back. He says Fred Van Thief spending that money in Tampa at the strip clubs. God knows what he's doing, but yeah. Any other business that did that, I feel like they'd be in trouble, a little bit in trouble. Because I'm not the only victim here. If you look it up, there's a bunch of people. Just look up like Fred VanVleet store scam. Or, yeah, if you look that up, you'll see it's a, I don't know if it's like a big problem, but there's a lot of people who have posted issues. And I think the only resolution, the guys who have come to one, have been through filing a dispute with their credit cards. So, I mean, I don't know if he's even going to send them, like, in a while. I don't know. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, he probably will. I was looking it up, the Ingles jersey, so it's on the Jazz team store. It's not on the NBA site, so maybe it is out of Utah. It is, I think, $60, $70 to ship here, so that's including duties and stuff. But yeah, they only have a small anyways, so I think Hasty's a little bigger than a small.
Thomas Bay here. He's the biggest closet Raptors fan. Like, yeah, I think we pulled up his I thought Thomas just started playing DFS like this season, but apparently he tried his hand at it like in, I don't know, 4 years ago or something.
6 years ago, 7 years ago.
7 years ago. Chris looked up his contest, somehow found a head-to-head against Thomas, and Thomas had like a terrible lineup with like 3 Raptors that had no business being in that lineup. But, you know, when you're a fan of an organization, when you like the team, you play their guys, you have your biases, and clearly Thomas had those biases. So, I mean, he's just a big closet Raptors fan. He hates to admit it, but he says, LMAO, classic Raptor, Van Fleet, so classless. That's what happens when you're affiliated with a joke of an organization. Way to let the fans down. I mean, I kind of agree with that part of it, because, I mean, I don't have my merch, but it's kind of funny. Austin says Harkless on FanDuel, Chris.
Yeah, I definitely don't mind him. You have Harrison Barnes out, so you're going to get more usage, most likely, more like safer minutes. So I don't mind it. But you're probably fading. I mean, I can't fade Ingles here, so you're probably playing him with Ingles. Yeah, I don't mind it.
Okay. Hasty says Freddie Family Man says pandemic screwed up shipping. Maybe Van Fleet got screwed. I mean, he should refund his fans. He's not even, the thing is, he's not even responding to emails. So, and it's been like 4 months now. So he's not even responding. He doesn't have anyone on his team responding to the customers. So you can't just blame everything on a pandemic. Let's see. He says maybe Freddie's merch was on the Evergreen. This was way before. Vian Jones says, I think I still have Connects in Korea if y'all need any jerseys. I have 2 awesome Len Bias Maryland jerseys that always get attention when I wear them, Chris.
Nice. From Korea, not China?
Do they make them in Korea? I guess maybe the Connects in Korea know the manufacturers in China.
Maybe.
Man, Vian Jones is international. He's like a pit bull, international businessman.
He's from Florida. I mean, they probably call him, I don't know, not Mr. Worldwide. He's probably like, what's a step below Mr.?
I don't know.
Like if Pitbull is Mr. Worldwide, he's King Worldwide. Vian Jones is like Prince Worldwide.
Yeah. Let's see. Kiki or Cantor on DK, Chris? Did we go over that? No.
I mean, that's a pretty ugly place to be, I think. 4-9. Let's see. Okiki is probably 4-9 as well. Okiki is 4-9 power forward, so I think this is util because Cantor is only center. Yeah, that's right. So let's see 4-9 because it's util. We can look at all positions.
Oh, okay. Wait, sorry. Do what?
DraftKings 4.9K max salary.
Okay.
Yeah, so DeLon Wright, he has a ton of upside if he starts here for Harrison Barnes, and then I guess Okiki would be second. Okiki has the highest projected ownership here, so I think he's probably the safest one. I like DeLon Wright for the upside, but if it was me, I would try to spend down a little more to one of these other value guys like Terrence Davis for 3.3, Wanamaker for 3K, Dean Wade 3.5. Chetty Osman is only 100 more if you don't have him. So I would try kind of change it around a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, Austin also says, Chris, that's where he got his jersey in Korea. Austin says he was stationed there. Vian Jones says he was also stationed in Korea. So I guess they do make some jerseys there. But yeah, shout out to Vian Jones and Austin serving our country. By our country, I mean America, but same thing, kind of. But shout out to them either way. T-Bay says, Gator Dog, that's probably what they call Vian Jones down in South Beach.
Yeah, probably.
Gator Dog. Yeah. Let me reset this filter, Chris. We can go over 3 pillars of the day. Start with FanDuel. So first up, Chris, overall play of the day there. Safest guy, cash tournaments. Who's your guy today?
Do you know the Florida Gators celebration?
No.
Or what the fans do? They go like this. The chomp. That's what Ian Jones probably does on his balcony. Okay,
chomp.
but yeah, my favorite play on FanDuel,
Yeah.
I'll say JC, Jordan Clarkson.
Clarkson, nice. JC, value play, Chris. Who do you have?
Value play. Kind of a mid-range build today, so it's a little bit hard to say. Honestly, I would probably say Clarkson again, but I can't do that. Give me Joe Ingles for 6-1.
Ingles, got it. So 2 Jazz here. Tournament play of the day, Chris. Are we going to throw in Gobert here? Or are we going to go to Nurk? Nurk is DK.
No, I don't want to complete the trifecta. I want to go with my boy, George Paul.
Nice. Playoff P, Chris. That's a risky one. Yeah, hopefully he's not in playoff form yet. But yeah, let's do DK. Who's your overall play there?
DraftKings overall play, got to go with the same guy, JC.
Okay, got him. Value play, who do you have?
So DK, we have a ton of more value guys here in the kind of low end with Terrence Davis, Wanamaker, Dean Wade. So I'll probably say Terrence Davis here.
Is it 2 R's? Yeah, Terrence Davis. No, it's 1 R. Wait.
TERENCE.
TERE.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 1 R. Okay. Tournament play of the day, Chris. Who do you have?
Same guy, George Paul, but I mean, there's a ton of other guys that I like. I'll say George Paul. Paul George is my one guy, but then we have Gobert, we have Nurkic, who I also like a lot.
Okay. Let's see what we got. Hasty says VN Jones should get a bag from Dos Equis. He is the most interesting man in the world. Got some more talk here. Yeah, lots of good stuff here. Crunchers are some solid guys, Chris. A lot of awesome guys here. Let's go over your core plays on FanDuel. So you have Lillard, Clarkson, Ingles, and Roko. Just a quick recap, Chris. Why do you like these 4 so much here on FanDuel today?
I mean, they're all a little too cheap for their situations. Portland, I think, isn't in a must-win game, so I think they're pretty safe for a lot of minutes. We have Dame, who's just way too cheap, and then Utah with no Conley, no Mitchell as well, just too cheap here.
Okay, and then which ones shall we go over today? Seeing Jarrett Allen, chalky center, some Jokic, some Gobert today, but yeah, who do you see for cash here? Which ones?
Let's do the first 2.
Okay. The reason I bring up the centers is because it just seems like it's an easy position to pivot off of in tournaments. So I'm just kind of looking what's going on here in cash.
Yeah, I mean, I did it last time when we had Jarrett Allen 5.7. He was 5.7K. He was the chalk. He was like 80% owned. I had Jokic, who was 20% owned. Yeah, I had a monster day that night.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Allen only got like 27 fantasy points.
Exactly. Sean says, like I said, Chris, ride or die with Paul George. I'm going to make some calls because you really need to be in that fast and furious.
Yeah, he said the same thing with Tim Hardaway Jr. last night when it was announced he wasn't starting. I think Deshaun asked me if I still liked him. I said, yeah, he's still fine. And he made that comment. And Hardaway had a good game, so I was happy about that. But yeah, I like Paul George in tournaments. Not in cash games today, though. But yeah, here's the top 2 lineups. Dame in both. Obviously, he's in the core. Tyrese, 7K. I like him a lot here. No Fox. JC and Ingles in my core. And then we have Roko, 5K. Really good price tag for him. I think it's a good buy low spot. He gets a ton of minutes, so I like that. And then Jarrett Allen for 6.5. Then we have this 3v3. Scary Terry, MPJ, K-Love versus Cole Anthony, Bogey, and Tatum. So, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I like the second side a lot more. We get Tatum, who's playing without Marcus Smart now. Obviously, Kemba is still out. 9-2 for Tatum. I like that price tag a lot. We get Bogey from this Utah game against the Kings with no Conley, no Mitchell either. So I like that a lot. And then we get Cole Anthony as the last piece, which I don't mind at all. I actually kind of prefer him over Scary Terry if you consider the price tag. So, yeah, I like the second side here.
Okay. T-Base says you should be the new Paul Walker, but then he also says Vin Diesel. He says Vin Diesel's the worst actor alive. Wonder what your boy Brandon would say about that. He's got the Vin Diesel, I think.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what he would have to say about that.
Yeah, we can bring it up another time, but yeah. DK, Chris, Kors over here, Jokic, Clarkson, Chetty Osman, and Dean Wade. 2 Cavs here, so that's different. Why do you like these 2 Cavs here, Chris? And why is Jokic a lock here?
Well, these guys are just cheap here. So we were talking about Chetty at the start of the night. He's playing 38-plus minutes with Nance, Sexton, Hartenstein, Delly, Prince, Windler even. They're all out, so he's playing a lot of minutes. 5K, still a little too cheap for him, in my opinion. And then Dean Wade as well, 3.5, still too cheap. And then we have Clarkson here, 6'9". He's going to be the main guy tonight for the Jazz, so I like him. And then it's pretty easy to get to Jokic with the value pieces we have here.
Okay, and then which ones shall we go over, Chris?
Let's look at the first 2 here.
Okay, so we got Russ here, Cole Anthony.
Yeah, so let's see. Same people. We have Chetty and Dean Wade, Jokic, obviously all in my core, JC as well. Then we have Terrence Davis in both. Probably going to add him to my core after the show. I like him a lot here. I prefer him over Dean Wade. We were talking about him as my value play. So I'm probably going to switch those 2 guys, lock in Terrence Davis into my core, and then remove Dean Wade. Still likely going to play both. But yeah, we have another 3v3 here. This one is Russ, Graham, Wanamaker versus Cole Anthony, Schroeder, and Halliburton. First side is more stars and scrubs. Second side is more balanced. Usually I'm stars and scrubs. So today, no different. I like the Westbrook side. I like spending up for him here. Makes a lot of sense to me. We got Wanamaker, who's a pretty solid value play. So yeah, I like the first side a lot more. You just get better plays. I think it has more upside as well. Second side, probably a little safer, just because it doesn't have Wanamaker, but Wanamaker's been playing a lot of minutes, and he could easily pay off his price tag. So it's the first side for me.
Okay. Let's go over single game slate as well for Royal King. Vian Jones says something about his time in Korea. He says, had an ATL Falcons jersey made. Convict. The label said, it's a doggone shame. Do you understand that, Chris?
I don't understand that one.
I gotta look it up. Doggone shame. Not sure. Need to look that one up after. Still wanted to read that one out loud. But need to look it up. Maybe, yeah. Royal King says, Chris Paul narrative. Chris, do you like that one?
Yeah, I don't mind that one.
Okay.
Going up against the Clippers, Clip Show, I don't mind it at all.
And then Sean here agrees with Thomas on Vin Diesel, worst actor alive. He says, amen, Thomas. We need your boy Brandon in here, Chris. Vin Diesel.
I don't even know if he's like a big... I don't even know where he got that name, so yeah, I'd be interested to see.
Yeah. VN Jones, Hasty says, Jersey sounds savage. Austin says, is it time to start fading plays based on reasons to play? For example, Pistons players, OD, OKC.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't been playing them. We've been playing them when they're resting their guys. Tomorrow they're resting Grant, they're resting Plumlee, so we're going to play their young guys, but that's why we don't play guys like Grant anymore.
Okay, and then VN Jones, Chris, he explained it to us. So now we know. He says, Michael Vick convicted for dogfighting, big NFL story.
I know that one.
Yeah, so it's part that, and then I don't know, I looked up Doggone Shame. Apparently it's also a song too from 1963. Maybe there's some like double reference there, but definitely pop culture card here. Revoked yet again for me. So I'll take this one, Chris. Let's see. Hasty says, love it when T. Davis makes the squad. Hasty knew that one. He says Vic and the dog fighting. So it's just us. We didn't know that one. But yeah, let's go over this single slate here. Which one do you think it is, Chris? Clip Show, Phoenix, or a different
one? Yeah, we can look at Clip Show, Phoenix.
Okay. Hasty says Vic was my guy. I got Big Buckets in here. Says, are you guys going to go over the single game? Yes, we are. So yeah, playoff P, Chris, here. Favorite MVP, but you also see some Booker and Paul. So, I mean, if one of these guys outscores Paul George and you have them locked at the MVP, that could be pretty big. But do you think Paul George is the clear-cut favorite there, Chris, for MVP today?
Yeah, I think so.
So who would you put at star then?
I mean, that's why I hate playing Phoenix slates. It could be Booker, it could be Paul. If I had to pick one, I don't know. I would probably say Paul just because he has more ways to get there. Booker is more of a scorer. Paul gets stocks, so probably CP3. But this is why I don't like playing the Phoenix slates, because you also have to pick between the third guy. So you would have to pick Ayton or Booker. But I mean, if you get it all right, you have a really good chance at taking something down. So that's the upside there.
Yep. Do you want to go over a different one too, or do you think this is the main one today?
I think that's the main one.
Okay. Let's see. Deshaun says, wish the NFL would do a lineup for the top 8 picks, and if you get them right, you win $100.
Oh, for the draft today or tomorrow?
Could be. Yeah. Anything else, Chris? Should we wrap it up here?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, so some housekeeping, guys. First up, website, dfscrunch.com. Check it out. We've been using it here throughout the show like we do every day. So if you're a new member and you go to our site, link is also in the description, dfscrunch.com. If you sign up, set up an account as a new member, you'll get the first 3 days for free. So you don't need a special link for that. Do not need a special link. Don't need a coupon code. Just go to our site, set up your account, and then you won't be charged until after 3 days for your membership. So no risk at all during that trial. Can cancel anytime by yourself here in the sidebar over here. Hover over that, click Account Center, and then over there is how you manage your account. So completely in your hands if you want to cancel before the 3rd day, obviously. So that's where it is. But yeah, completely free 3 days. So definitely check that out. Lots of slates, lots of sports, FanDuel, DraftKings, all the main sports, all the different slates for those sports. So NBA, I always go over this. 6 slates here today for NBA alone on FanDuel. DraftKings, there's quite a bit more here. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 slates on DraftKings. So that's quite a lot. Of course, we also have, what do we have? MLB today, Chris? Or did that start earlier?
No, there's MLB today. I just want to say the slates are currently missing on FanDuel, but we're getting that fixed.
Oh, okay. That's good. MLB, there's NHL as well. Anything else today, Chris?
I mean, today, let me see. All you got to do is look at the lobby. Yeah, MLB, NHL, NBA. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff to keep you busy. I also checked, we have EuroLeague in here because Hasty was asking about that. I opened it up today. It did load. I'm just wondering, like, I went to EuroLeague, but then there were no slates on on the actual DK website, so I'm not really sure what's going on here.
It was probably early.
What do you mean?
When did you look?
Like right now.
Yeah, and when was the slate?
Oh, you mean it passed already?
Just click the clock button at the top.
Oh, yeah, 10 a.m., my bad. But yeah, we do have EuroLeague. DK does have EuroLeague, so we have projections there. I wonder if anyone actually uses them, but apparently they've been pretty solid. Like, we tested them out before. They were doing well, much like our college projections. So don't sleep on the EuroLeague if you're into that. Just a bit too early for me to play, but apparently it's been doing pretty well. But I think the thing with the EuroLeague is the scores are a lot smaller, and then I think it's just a little different. I think in terms of like how players produce and who gets there every day. It's a little bit different, but if you're into basketball, if you can watch the games, it's pretty fun. Like you got Mirotic in here, so it's not a bad league at all. But yeah, all that's included in the trial that you can get for free. So you get all that. Also, best part, our Discord. So that's where our Crunch community hangs out. So you get access to that as well during your trial. So make sure to join the Discord. Great place to ask questions about DFS, about the optimizer, about settings that people use, things like that. So awesome community here. Also Stonks. We got Stonks here as well, so great stuff here. JC, John Carter, I think he's the Stonks king here in the... No?
Yeah,
he's
all up from here.
Huh?
Yeah, his name is all up from here in Discord.
Yeah, he's the Stonks king for sure. So great place to hang out, all for free, 3 days.
Wait,
so
let's hit optimize on FanDuel again, because current optimal has Pritchard. So I just want to give a shout out to Peyton Pritchard, because obviously Marcus Smart is out now. I don't think we have their starters yet, but I mean he's probably going to start here.
Okay. Before we do that, I think World King wanted to go over this one quickly. Lakers single slate. So, I mean, you can see it here. I got Westy, favorite one here. AD. I mean, if AD has his big game, you could easily put him above Westy. What do you think of that, Chris?
No, I can't do it. No chance I could do that. But I think the second spot is where you have to make a tricky decision. I would go with Beal just because he's safer. AD has plenty of paths where he gets hurt, anything like that. So I like Beal as the second guy there.
Oh yeah, and then here's our boy Pritchard, Chris, right here.
Yeah. So I like that lineup a lot. It gets you Pritchard and Porter instead of Cole Anthony and Bogey. I like the Pritchard Porter side a lot.
Okay. VN Jones says DAWG, dog, slang for dog. Lol, dog. Gone shame for dog fighting, as well as dog gone shame for him having to go to jail for it. But back to basketball. Yeah, that's a mouthful. Let's see. Everyone knows about this, Chris, except for us. David Korea says MVic dog killer.
I know Michael Vick. I know the story. I didn't know the convict thing and the thing he said at the end of the message.
Yeah, just our pop culture card. Revoked for now. Temporary suspension, Chris. Hasty says, sweet EuroLeague. I'll run some lines. Check it out. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. The projections there are pretty good. So I honestly, I didn't know they had EuroLeague on DK. Every time I check it out, it's always empty. But I guess it's because it's earlier on, 10 a.m. or something, Pacific time. World King says, AD still in a minutes restriction, right? I think he's unleashed, right?
Yeah, they said last game that he's off a restriction, but I mean, at the same time, it's not like they're going to run him 38 minutes against the Wizards on a Wednesday night. So
yeah,
I think he's still going to play around 30, 32 minutes maximum. But yeah, I just think they're not restricting him. But at the same time, I think they are restricting him because this game doesn't mean too much.
Yeah, you said why? Why would they? What's the point? But he's off the restriction technically. But why today? So yeah. Other stuff, last thing, before you guys go, be sure to hit the thumbs up on the YouTube. We do appreciate that a lot. Helps us grow. So if you can do that, we appreciate that a lot. And then also make sure you're subscribed as well if you enjoyed the content here today. We do the same format every single day, weekends as well. So make sure you're subscribed with the bell button clicked and the all text selected. Lots of free value here, always going to be free. So great place to talk DFS leading up to the slate, get like a big slate overview. So I think this is probably, I'm going to say, one of the better DFS shows because I used to watch a few before. But the fact that you can get like almost any question answered all throughout the show, I think kind of makes it a lot easier to kind of learn and get the ropes of DFS right. So make sure you do that. I think that's it. We'll be in the Discord like we always are. So if you guys have more questions, be sure to come in there, ask them there. Happy to answer them. Projections are going to continue to update with any other news that comes out. So we'll be on top of that. Anything else, Chris?
Yeah, I just wanted to say we also got news that Bogey is out. Atlanta Bogey, Bogdanovic. So that's probably going to change things as well. So if you don't have obviously access to the tool, today would be a good day because things will probably change.
Yep. I think that's it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, VN Jones here says AD is unleashed, but don't play him against my Wizards. So he said that a few times. Got to put some weight on VN Jones's word. He's a sharp player for sure. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow, and good luck today, guys.